Good day, everyone. I am Dana, the Angry Citizen, and coming to you today to talk about Maine and to talk about unity. In Maine, we are in deep turmoil, as you all know. Our governor is at odds with our president. I think deservedly so. I am not a fan of our governor. I have been a loud opponent of her for many years. I have actually actively solicited to attempt to get her arrested because she has perjured her oath with her unconstitutional actions during the so-called COVID pandemic, which I decry and defy. The entire COVID pandemic was a scam. If you don't see that, it's because you haven't looked at the evidence. So now here we are in Maine, deeply locked in turmoil. Our governor and our Democratic so-called representatives employing flagrant shenanigans, horrific shenanigans, insulting to the integrity of everyone in Maine. And a few very brave folks, including Laurel Libby and Representative Reagan Paul, Representative Bob Falkingham, and a few others that are trying to oppose this madness and deeply in need of our support of we the people of Maine. And I've been doing this for a while now in terms of trying to hold our governments accountable, trying to restore justice, transparency, accountability in both our state governments and our national governments, and meeting with a great deal of opposition. I have become increasingly irritated with people in general, and especially people in Maine. And I'm having a real dilemma here, folks, because we all seem to want the same things and we all seem to talk the same language. But then when it comes to action, we're going to actually do something, we seem to fragment. And it makes me very angry and frustrated because we really do all want the same things. We want our governor to be held accountable for her actions. She's acting unlawfully. She's committing crimes. We want our state to be run efficiently and effectively. We want our tax dollars to be accounted for very specifically, and we don't want to be overtaxed. We don't want to pay for other people's expenses. We want to pay for only our own expenses. We want our Constitution to be adhered to. So when I see what's going on in my state, and I see all the people out there who, like me, want to see accountability and transparency and justice, fighting among ourselves, and that's what we're doing, folks. We're just butting heads a lot, exhaustively. Okay, I am guilty of my own transgressions. I freely concede that. I've made a few enemies out there. I had the unpleasant confrontation with the people at Calvary Chapel. I've butted heads very furiously with gun owners of Maine, I think with good reason. I'm angry at them. I think I have valid reason to be angry at them. Maybe they think, I'm a nut. I've worked with virtually every organization here in Maine that you can think of at some point, or contacted them or had interactions with them, and universally encountered opposition and a profound lack of willingness to communicate and coordinate. And it's the same thing I've encountered nationwide with very few exceptions. Shout out to you, my brother, Ohio Brett from Ohio, the big OH, and then a few others. I mean, so to be fair, I give great credit to those who have responded and are responsive. Johnny Linehan, good example. Love you, Johnny. And others. Okay, so what I'm saying is, but in Maine right now, we are divided, sharply divided, which really I find astounding. I really do, because we all want the same things. And when I have an event, and I've done the first, second, and third annual Maine Freedom Rallies here in Maine, and I've achieved very, very little support from all those out there. And I've supported a lot of people. I support people who are partisan, Mike Sobolewski had a fundraiser, and I actually threw in $100 to Mike Sobolewski in his fundraiser, which I don't normally do. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Christian. I don't know Mike personally. I do now. I met him at the fundraiser, and I like Mike. But I wasn't there because I was a Christian or a Republican. I was there because I liked his message and I liked what he was saying. And I threw in $100, and I'll throw in with anyone. If anyone has an idea or initiative or anything that'll make our cause more successful, I'll throw in with you. So, but I ask the same thing in return, and I typically don't get that. And I realize this is a rant and I'm complaining, but I am, because I've tried a million times to contact the Maine lobstermen who are under deep fire and really need to be sort of united in some way, because they have a unique product. Think about Maine lobster is unique worldwide. It's an iconic brand. And Maine lobstermen have all the power, but they fight among themselves. You can't get them on the same page, because a lot of the posts, even if you look at the Maine lobsterman posts, there are a lot of them are like, well, this guy stole my trap, and they fight like cats and dogs. We do that in Maine, but we got to get on the same page with regard to the fact that our government is acting unlawfully. Our governor is acting unlawfully. So recently, there was a little while back, there was a protest organized in Augusta. And I'm all about protests. I've been very loud about this, very vocal about it. I love protests. Protesting is our right. It's our God-given, constitutionally protected right to peaceably assemble and petition our government for a redress of our grievances. And our governor is a traitor. She should be arrested, not just, have us assemble there, but there should be a sheriff arresting her. We can't make that happen because we don't have enough people all on board, which again is the basis of my statement and my video right now to all of you is that we need unity, because we really do all want the same things. We really do want our government to be held accountable, to be accountable to us, very strictly accountable to us, to be accountable to act within their oaths, to be, if they are not acting within their oaths, immediately punished. We all want to see that. I know we do. And we could make it happen if we could all agree. If we could all assemble on the same page, I think we could immediately accomplish the thing that we want, which is to have our government immediately align with their duty and their oaths and the will of we the people. But we're divided at this point. Everyone has their own agenda, their own meanings, their own group, their own organization, their own label, their own brand. And, I'll work with any of y'all. If you have an idea, if you have an initiative, if you want to, organize a protest, I'm right on board, even if I don't like you. So, and there are a few people out there that know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't like you, but we'll get together. We'll work together because we want the same things. We want our rights respected. We want our Constitution completely reestablished. That we want our government in Augusta to be held accountable for their behaviors. And right now, they're criminals. They're acting in a criminal capacity, especially our governor, Janet Mills. And we could all assemble and all initiate the lawful remedies that are available to us. There's been a lot of talk recently about a recall. I've seen a whole bunch of Facebook posts about a recall. So I did a little bit of research and immediately determined that I don't believe we have a recall process here in Maine. I have yet to have this shown to me. I would love to pursue this. I really would. To those of you who are doing this, good for you. God bless you for wanting to take action. But at the same time, you have to examine, is your action going to be effective? Do you have a lawful remedy available to you? I don't think you do. I don't think there is a recall. There is an impeachment process. We should be pursuing the impeachment process. I tried to have her arrested years ago. And I got almost zero support, which was hilarious to me because so many people were so angry at her. But you all have your little groups, your cliques, your organizations. You don't want to talk to me because I'm controversial. I don't give a shit about that. I don't. I speak the truth. The truth is the sword of God. And go ahead and refute me. Prove me wrong. Prove what I'm saying is untrue. Prove what I'm saying is criminal. I act lawfully. I am constitutional. I am completely within my rights, and absolutely confident in that. You can't shake that because I am. So if you all decided to put aside your petty differences and unite under a common banner, we would have our way overnight. That's the truth. That's God's truth. Okay, but you can't. You're all quibbling among yourselves, arguing about labels and credit and brands. And so there are about 30 or 40 Facebook groups which all have basically the same premise, which is that we all want lawful remedies against Janet Mills. And I'm at the forefront of that and would love to see it happen. And I'm wide open to negotiations, discussions, communications with any of you. I'm right here. You all know where to find me. It doesn't take a genius to find me. And I've thrown out my number and my contact information to the Maine Lobstermen's Association and all the Maine Lobstermen numerous times to pursue their cause, which I think is a very righteous cause. I've thrown it out to every political group in Maine. There's about 30 or 40 Facebook groups, the Walk Away Maine, the Unite Maine, the Maine Unites, the whatever. There's 20 trillion of them. Like, all of us want the same things. We need to initiate a movement and a dialogue and an organization that encompasses all of us together to voice our concerns and pursue these lawful causes that we have available to us, which we can. There are right now a couple of representatives in our Maine State House who are under heavy fire. Representative Laura Libby is under heavy fire. I'm a huge supporter, unequivocally stand with her on her issues. She is being censured, which is bullshit. Told she's not allowed to speak, not allowed to weigh in. That's a direct assault on the people she represents, because all the people of her district have a voice, which is through her. They cannot say you're not allowed to speak. That is an abuse of power. It's vile. It's contemptible. I decry it. I defy it. And I'm angry about it. And a lot of people are angry about it. And we need to unite our voices in one loud voice, the hammer of God, to come down on them and say, hell no, you don't get to do this. You don't get to silence her. She speaks for us. And we're going to tell you what we have to tell you. And you don't get to silence our voices. If we could all get together on this, Maine, we have so much power. We just don't use it. Keep in mind the difference between power and authority. Our power is derived from authority. We have the lawful authority. We, the people of Maine, have the lawful authority to speak our voices to our elected servants. They serve us. They do what we say. They work for us. They are our employees. And if we don't like them and we are not happy with what they're doing, we fire them and we find someone else that can do the job the way we say it needs to be done. We, the people of Maine, speak to what is going to happen in Maine. Janet Mills is a traitor, okay? Straight up traitor. She perjured her oath. I have been banging this drum for years, literally, okay? She perjured her oath. She is a traitor. She needs to be removed from office. She needs to be charged criminally as a traitor. I'm deadly serious. 100% serious. Serious as a heart attack. If all of us in Maine agreed, that would happen. It would. All we have to do is stop fighting among ourselves. That's what I'm saying to you. I am wide open, Maine. You know where I am. I'm not hiding. Okay, it's not hard to find me. We unite, we talk among ourselves, we achieve a coalition, a giant coalition of we the people of Maine that all want to see the things done that we think should be done. Okay. I personally do not believe that boys should be allowed to compete in girls' sports. Hate me as you will. Call me transphobic. Accuse me of terrorism, if you will. That is where I stand. Period. Laura Libby has made her views on this known and has been attacked and vilified for doing it. Attacked in the harshest possible terms by people who are, in my opinion, insane, accusing her literally of, this was the phrase that was used in the Facebook post, terrorizing a trans child. That is insane, ridiculous. Laurel is saying boys should not be allowed to compete with girls in girls' sports. I agree. Doesn't mean I'm transphobic. Doesn't mean I hate trans people. It is based on science and fact and truth and reason. And so when she is attacked for that, I'm going to stand with her, period. Okay. And Ryan Fechtow, I wrote you a letter. You trying to be semi-civil. Maybe Ryan's a good guy. I don't know. I don't know Ryan Fechtow personally, but I saw him sitting on his pedestal lecturing Laurel Libby about, and the phrase that came out of his nasty little mouth was, our children deserve better. This is what he said to her. Our children deserve better. Okay, admonishing her and lecturing her because she had put up a post objecting to the fact that a boy was participating with girls in girls' sports. And I got to tell you, Maine and America, that lit me up. I was so angry. I was shaking. And I am lawful and constitutional, swear to God Almighty, I'm telling you the truth. But I wanted to grab him by his nasty little beard and rip him off that podium. How dare you? How dare you come against her with your arrogant, self-serving, ridiculous, insane, convoluted, right is wrong, left is right, bullshit admonitions against her, but she is standing up for the girls who are unhappy about the fact that a boy is participating in their sport, claiming he's a girl. He's not a girl. He's a boy. And I'm sorry for the boy. I know it's rough to be in that position. You think you're a girl. I mean, I don't hate you. I don't. I feel bad for you. But you don't get to say I'm a girl and then participate with girls in a girls' sport and then be angry and volatile and hateful and belligerent and nasty to people that object. You're not a girl. You can be trans if you wish, and that's on you, and I don't hate you for it. I'm not upset with you. I wish you all the best. But you don't get to be a girl and participate in sports with girls and beat them and think that you're great at that event because you're beating girls. You're a boy. Participate with the boys. Anyway, at the end of the day, our process of communication and resolution is highly flawed, and that's what we need to fix. We need to all be talking among ourselves. We need to have good news sources. We need to have a dialogue about all these issues and all agree on how we feel about them. And if people disagree, this is the democratic process. Go ahead and disagree. And at the end of the day, it comes to a vote and a voice, and our voices are represented by these people that are in our state house. And right now, I don't think that that's being accurately represented. And I'm angry at the people that are in the state house that are Democrats that are wastefully spending our money, that are excluding their colleagues, our Republican representatives, from representing their constituents, us, we the people of Maine. And I think that we all should be angry about that. And even if you are a Democrat, you should never support the suppression of the voices of the people that disagree with you, because that's a violation of the democratic process. the state of Maine could be very prosperous. I truly believe this. And we can find a path to that. I truly believe that. But we have to rein in our government. So the most important thing you can do is to make your voices heard. A lot of people neglect the simple concept, the simple task of contacting our elected servants and be respectful of them and respectful of their time, even if you disagree with them. If I called Ryan Fecteau, I wouldn't call him a greasy, nasty little communist piece of shit, even though that might be how I feel about him. I would speak to him respectfully and say, I disagree with what you did. I strongly disagree with what you did. And I very strongly and vociferously oppose your condescending, arrogant speech to Laura Libby, who has every right to express her righteous concerns. Because, if I'm left to my own devices, I would want to say, you nasty little piece of shit. How dare you speak to her that way? What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you not have the slightest concern for the fact that a boy is participating in girls' sports? You haven't spoken to that at all. You've never once even said, I weigh in, I think it's okay. Go ahead, Ryan Fecteau. Tell us all how you think it's okay for a boy to beat up on girls in their sports league, and that's okay with you, because you and I are dead set opposite on that perspective. But he never once weighed in on that issue. Instead, he just castigated and rebuked Laura Libby for expressing that she thought it was unfair for boys to compete with girls in girls' sports, which obviously it is. That's the reality, folks. That's reality. That's fact. It's truth. And the truth is the sword of God. So I'm going to continue my efforts, despite the fact that I'm actually really angry and frustrated at all of the incredible lack of cooperation and communication among we the people of Maine on all these issues. We had an event here recently. There was a protest in Augusta, and it was organized by a group. I can't remember who they are. Maine X community. I'd never heard of them. There were 2 or 3 people in the people who run the group or whatever on Facebook. I checked them. I don't know either of them. I'd never heard of them before. There were some very shady posts being put up. One post was about how we, the people, have a right to bear arms, and they can't tell us where we can and can't carry our guns, and we're going to just arm ourselves and go where we want. And I said, this is very unsettling to me to see this, not because I don't think that the author is correct. The author is, in fact, correct. We do have a right to be wherever we want with our arms and arm ourselves as we see fit. But that is not the fight you want to pick at any particular moment in time, especially if you just all suddenly decide to assemble in Augusta at our state's capital. And a couple of times I put up some comments and a couple of things I asked very early on. As soon as I saw the post, I said, well, who are the people organizing? I just want to talk to them, coordinate with them, communicate, get to know them. I don't know who they are. And the second thing is, who is organizing with or coordinating with Capitol Police, which is critical. Now, we have a right to go wherever we want and do whatever we want to do. But the truth is that the Capitol Police become concerned when large, groups of people show up with signs and, protesting. And so we, the people of Maine, in order to facilitate a cooperative environment with our law enforcement and elected servants, we coordinate with the Capitol Police when we're going to go there, whoever's organizing the event. And I got no response to my 2 posts. Who's organizing and who's coordinating with Capitol Police? No response. And I was very concerned about this. And I actually made a video about this, and I posted a post about it because there are a lot of bad actors out there who would like to entice us into doing things that are unlawful so that they can catch us doing unlawful things. And I never got any response. And at one point, someone, one of the several times I had posted, said something to the effect of, well, you can find us on the group page, your Xbook group page. And yes, I did go to your mainx.com page, and I found a couple people there, and I clicked on them, and I don't know them, and I don't know anything about them. And I would have actually appreciated just a momentary, response of, this is who I am, and we can coordinate, and we can talk, because I'm trying to help you. Like, I'm up for whatever you guys want to do. A protest, you want a petition, a fundraiser, an event, whatever it is. I've proven that I'm there. Okay, and I've asked for very little in return, except that participation in my event, the annual Maine Freedom Festival, and I've gotten pretty poor response, to be frank with y'all. And I'm not whining about it. Like, I'm not looking to be famous. I'm trying to do something important, and I know all of you are trying to do something important, and I think we could all get on the same page and all work together to try to do this important thing. And I think that our chances of success would go up very dramatically if we could all figure out a way to work together instead of each of us doing our own little thing and demanding that everyone else come to us and help us with our thing. I truly believe this with all my heart and soul. So we'll see how it goes. This is Dana the Angry Citizen. I'm signing off, and God bless you all.